to start the program because once I start, eventually the celebration will end. So I thought if I just delayed the start, the celebration could go on a bit longer. But alas, I'm told that the food is ready. I'm sure you all are quite aware that it's taken us 50 years to get to this day. And along the way, I'm sure there were a number of you at different times, based on your involvement in this institution, who seriously wondered if we'd ever get to 50. And frankly, sometimes I was one of them. But what we're celebrating tonight is certainly the anniversary of Walsh University. But what we're really celebrating is a community of wonderful, God-fearing and God-loving people who came together in an alfalfa field, looked out. Most people just saw alfalfa. And somebody said, "I think I see un petit collège." There wasn't anything there. It was just alfalfa. But he saw a little college. Had no land, had no buildings, had no money, and had no plan. By anybody's definition, that's not a great start. But the reason we're able to celebrate tonight is that men and women of faith helped us to create this wonderful institution. And so many of you, each in your own way, we could go table by table by table and introduce and thank people who meant so much to this institution. But that motto that just doesn't go away, and now we have it in stone over the chapel so we know it will never leave, said Deus dat incrementum. God gives the increase. And it's that increase that we're here to celebrate tonight with all of you who have helped over these many years to make this a reality. For those of you who doubt, however, that this is really our 50th anniversary, something happened this past week in the House of Representatives and Congress in Washington that made it official. And I'd like to call upon our Congressman, John Bucherri, who is going to relate to you what he did. Please welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President, friends, faculty, and alumni of this great institution. Congratulations for making it to 50 years. And I wish you many, many more years of success. The President talked about God gives the increase as the motto of this fine institution. And I must, in a moment of clear transparency, let you know that that has affected my life as well, that motto. God gives the increase. You see, my dad was studying to become a Catholic priest. Thank God he left. So I feel that your motto has touched my life personally. Congratulations on what you do for this community and what you mean for the community. Part of your curriculum is the creation of leaders through service to others, through volunteer work, through giving back to the community, whether it is mentoring school children, whether it's helping build homes after the Katrina disaster, or helping low-income families. You make the difference for so many people and so many students. Training future leaders is so important. And we have all got to work together. Public, private, Catholic, non-Catholic, Jew, Gentile, we must all work together to make certain that our communities prosper and grow. And because of what you do here today, what you mean here today for this community, I felt it an honor and a privilege to recognize you Tuesday, March 29th, on the United States House of Representatives floor. And it reads to this: Madam Speaker, this academic year represents a most momentous occasion for the 16th Congressional District of Ohio. We celebrate the 50th anniversary of the founding of Walsh University. On November 17, 1960, 6 founding brothers of Walsh University brought their dreams to life when Walsh College enrolled 67 male students united under the mission of creating leaders in the public service and educating the working class. Walsh's 50th year history is full of many highlights, but some stand out from the rest. In 1967, Walsh opened its doors to women and officially became co-ed. In 1981, Walsh established its first graduate program offering a Master of Arts in Counseling. In 1993, Walsh College became Walsh University, paving the way for future growth and expansion. Under the leadership of the President Richard Duzeme, and the university has experienced unprecedented growth not only in enrollment, but also in physical growth, with the addition of several academic buildings, residence halls, and athletics facilities. Today, Walsh University offers more than 50 majors, 6 graduate programs, a doctorate program in physical therapy, and boasts 4 campuses throughout Northeast Ohio, one just outside of Rome, Italy, and welcomes more than 3,000 students to our great district. We can only imagine what the next 50 years will be and bring, but I am certain that with a bright future lies ahead many years of success for Walsh University. This was in the congressional record for Tuesday, September 29th. It is official. You are 50 years old. Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you, Congressman Bucieri. Much appreciated. Any dinner in a faith-based institution, I'm sure you realize, is going to have to begin with an invocation. There are always a couple of problems with invocations. There's the problem of the long invocations, and there's an even more difficult problem that arises when the room has clergy, has brothers, has wonderful people, has preachers, would-be preachers, and all sorts of people who would love to deliver the invocation. So what does one do? Very simple. You choose the oldest person in the room. And so I'd like to welcome to the podium a man who is not very good at speaking invocations, but has another approach to how we ought to pray. Please welcome to the podium Brother Henry Bernier.
You know, when I was in Rome, one day in the office, I could hear somebody sing Ave Maria in French. I said, gee, I like it. I better study it and I better sing it. So I'm going to sing it for you tonight. Okay? That will be the blessing. Je vous salue, Marie, pleine de grâce. Le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Sainte Marie, Mère de Dieu, priez pour nous pauvres pécheurs, maintenant et à l'heure de notre mort. Ainsi soit-il, ainsi soit-il. Sainte Marie, Mère de Dieu, priez pour nous pauvres pécheurs, maintenant et à l'heure de notre mort. Ainsi soit-il, ainsi soit-il.
to do one other little number, if you don't mind.
What is it going to be?
You're asking me?
There's a spot in my heart nobody can hit. There's a place in my memory, my life that you filled. There's a place in my soul that... Where are the words? Nobody can take it, nobody shall do it. Sure, I love the dear silver that shines in your hair, and the brow that's all furrowed, and the wrinkled with care. I kiss the dear fingers so toil worn for me. Oh, God bless you and keep you, Mother Marguerite.
I have to agree, I picked the right guy. Enjoy your dinner, we'll talk a little bit later. Lots and lots of introductions, and we're not going to spend a lot of time talking because after all, it's a party. However, there are a small group of men that are here with us this evening who have come from near and far that I would like to introduce to you. And as they're being introduced, they're going to make their way up here to join our choir that's sort of scattered around the room, and then they have something a little special for us. The first that I'd like to introduce is Brother Guy Roddy. Brother Guy Roddy was here on November 17th, 1960 on that first day as he stood in the lobby of Farrell Hall. He has served at Walsh a number of different times. He was a student here in the 60s. He was here in the 70s as well. And since 2002 has been here. He's been an assistant professor of theology. He's been the director of the House of the Brothers here. He currently is assistant provincial. Please welcome Brother Guy Roddy. One of the brothers who's here from Massachusetts this evening is Brother Daniel Karen. He has served on the board of Walsh University for 15 years. He spent 45 years working in schools, was principal of Mount Assumption Institute in Plattsburgh, New York, Seton Catholic High School, has served as provincial superior of the American province for 9 years, currently resides in Fall River, Massachusetts, and still continues to teach full-time as a chemistry professor. Please welcome Daniel Karen. Next, I'd like to introduce Brother Ted Latender. Brother Ted was here as a student in the 70s, and after graduating, served at Walsh for some 18 years. He was director of admissions at one time, director of campus ministry, director of international students, and was our international student recruiter. In 1997, he was also ordained and is the chaplain at Notre Dame Institute in Alfred, Maine, and is the director of the Notre Dame Spiritual Center in Alfred, Maine. Please welcome Brother Ted Latender. Next, please meet Brother Albert Heinrich. Brother Albert was in the third graduating class at Walsh, one of the really good classes. years as a teacher at St. Thomas Aquinas High School, 4 years in Nome, Alaska, helping to run a radio station there, 3 years in parish ministry in Alaska, 10 years in Tokyo at St. Mary's International School, 9 years as an adjunct professor at Kent State University, currently residing in Alfred, Maine, and teaches at York County Senior College. Brother Alfred Heinrich. From Canada, from La Prairie, Brother Robert Gomez. He is the founder and Director General of Terre Sans Frontières, a foundation that carries on projects in third world countries. He has received the Founders Medal from Walsh University, has been a missionary in Burundi, and currently continues to head up that foundation, and is a man we hope is going to visit us often. Brother Robert Gomez. Also from the community in Canada, Brother Ovid Buxier. As then superior of brothers communities in Canada, the United States, in Japan, principal of high schools in Quebec, member of the Bishop's Pastoral Committee there, currently resides in Three Rivers, Quebec, as a retired linguistics teacher, will soon be celebrating his 70th anniversary as a brother, our 86-year-old youngster from Canada, Brother Ovid Buxier. From here at Walsh University, Brother Ernest Paquette. Brother Ernest taught secondary and high school in East Africa and taught at St. Mary's College in Southampton, England. Served at Walsh for 28 years since 1981, served as Associate Professor of Math and Computer Science, founded the Computer Science program here, and currently helps with academic advising. Brother Ernest Paquette. Also from here at Walsh, Brother Joseph Power. Brother Power has been at Walsh for 44 years. Has held positions as head of the English department, chairman of humanities, served as the director of the Institute in Alfred, Maine, worked at a mission in Kentucky for many years, and still holds court on the back porch all day long and meets and greets more students than anybody I know on campus. Joseph Power. Number 9, the man that you've been introduced to a little bit earlier, Brother Henry Bernier. Served at Walsh for 25 years, has taught English, French, Latin, Italian, German, and Spanish. He loves to sing. His real hobby is portrait painting, and if you have a clock that no one can fix, he can fix it. Served as principal and superior in Fall River, Massachusetts. Was my 8th grade principal. I suffered corporal punishment at his hands. And retired to Alfred, Maine in 2000, Brother Henry Bernier. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Rick Cooper, who will tell you what he's going to do with these people.
We're going to make them sing, of course. What you're going to hear tonight is a piece of music called Anniversary Gala. If you were privileged to be here at the installation of our chapel, Our Lady of Perpetual Health, You heard the Brothers of Christian Instruction there sing this melody. Since then, I have taught it to the choir, and they're here to be sort of the pips to their Gladys Knight and to sing in the background. I do think that since President Jussom was a brother of Christian Instruction and knows this piece by heart, he should also sing, don't you agree? Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Anniversary Gala.
Not your first note. I'll count you it. 1, 2, go.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, wasn't that great? It's great for us because we know how to sing it now. Our French isn't quite as good as theirs, so we're always grateful for that. On behalf of myself, the Brothers of Christian Instruction, the Chorale, the Director of Fine Performing Arts, I wish to offer the following anniversary present to the Walsh University family. In the fall of 2008, I was approached by the members of the 50th Anniversary Committee about the possibility of some sort of musical commission, a new piece to honor our celebrations. And I set out immediately to find musical pieces or traditions that could be linked to our beloved Brothers of Christian Instruction, and therefore by extension to the university as a whole. The result of that search was the congregational hymn you just heard, Anniversary Gala. The arrangement sung by the chorale tonight was written by me last fall and performed for the first time during our November concert. That was only phase one of my creative plan. Because since first hearing this melody, this unbelievable, beautiful melody, which is 70% hymn, 25% French military march, and about 5% drinking song. Which is what you have to have for any anthem. It's got to be this much in it. It's just sort of, right? Just a little bit. I've been convinced that it needed to become a permanent fixture of our musical traditions here on campus, since inevitably the brothers themselves will not always be here to sing it for us. This melody has a visceral connection to the place and the people who founded it, and we need to be the ones to be the insurers that the melody lives on, that it perpetuates, that it has somewhere to live and breathe and grow. So, with the well wishes of the Brothers of Christian Instruction, the 50th Anniversary Committee, and the President, I have used the melody of the Brothers hymn to set a new Jubilee alma mater for Walsh University, which I hope will serve as a second school song standing alongside the founding alma mater, written by Brother Robert Francoeur and arranged by our beloved Dorothy Lane. It's very important to understand that the two melodies are intended to coexist peacefully together. There's no intention to replace anything. There's no intention to retire anything. That's not our goal. Our goal is to enrich our musical traditions by addition, not subtraction. So, both have their place, and they will both be sung, and they will both be performed, and they will both continue to live on this campus, I hope. I've composed the text of the Jubilee alma mater myself. It is found on the inside, or the back portion of your program, on the last page, I believe. And it uses the same tune that you just heard. The first four lines actually echo the sentiments that Brother Robert wrote when he composed the original alma mater, our founding alma mater. And then the middle three lines make mentions to the people who founded the school, the place upon which it was founded, the motto of the school, and the mission of the school and its perpetuation. And hopefully you will find the melody very easy to sing yourself. And when it comes back the second time at the end and it repeats the text, feel compelled to try to sing. Because that's what an alma mater is supposed to do. So, without any further ado, I give you the first premier public performance of the Walsh University Jubilee alma mater.
Reflection
choir members here, it just seems like it would make sense to have them give you some of the highlights of these last 50 years. So individually, they're going to help us reminisce a little bit for a few minutes. Are we ready?
November 17, 1960. President Thomas Farrell welcomes the 67 gentlemen students who will become known as Walsh College's first class of freshmen from the steps of College Hall. Brother Robert Francoeur, academic dean, memorized their names and faces from the photo on their applications, so he greeted them by name, one by one. With numerous construction delays, a significant lack of finances, and as few resources as imaginable, the students were hesitant, but also courageous and hopeful. President Farrell's inaugural address reflected the anticipation felt by all present. The greatness of an institution is not gauged by the splendor of its buildings, the success of its teams, the size of its stadiums, nor by the academic degrees held by its faculty, not even by the number of diplomas it awards its graduates. An institution of higher learning becomes great, and Walsh College will be great by the quality of men it turns out. June 7, 1964. 47 students filed into the auditorium of Timke Vocational High School in downtown Canton to celebrate the first commencement ceremony. 650 faculty, staff, family, and friends were on hand to celebrate this historic event. After all, these 47 students in the first footsteps formed the first traditions, many of which carry on today. Even helped with the landscaping and planted trees which stand tall and proud on our campus quad. While many have followed, these men were the first. The Most Reverend Emmett M. Walsh, Bishop of Youngstown Diocese, for whom Walsh is named for his generous financial backing of the college, received an honorary degree. The momentous nature of the first graduating class was not lost on any in attendance.
October 1965. Brother Dacian studies floor plans with Brother Farrell as ground is broken for what would be the first residence hall, Menard Hall, to house 208 residents. They thought this residence hall would suffice on campus for years. Little did they know that 4 decades later, Walsh's residence halls would take up more than half of the campus acreage and be a vital and integral part of our campus culture. Today, Walsh has 9 residence halls, which house nearly 1,100 students. And Walsh's residence halls have come a long way since 1965. In addition to comfortable living quarters, Walsh students enjoy high-speed internet, cable, computer labs, laundry facilities, fitness centers, full or partial kitchens, a chapel, a convenience store, and even a movie theater in Walsh's newest hall, Fred Oliveri Family Towers. Prospective students, parents, and other visitors to campus consistently praise the quality of our residence halls and residence life.
Fall of 1967. The smartest decision in the history of the university was made when Walsh College officially became a co-ed institution. Most female students at the time were in Walsh's teacher preparation program, designed to prepare students to teach at both elementary and high school levels, and offered a teaching program in area school districts. The program earned a very good reputation, one that it still enjoys today as one of the largest majors on campus. Female students that attended Walsh College in the 60s had a curfew and had to abide by a dress code. Today, Walsh is 56% female. Walsh's female students are presidents of clubs and organizations, participate in prestigious internships with Fortune 500 employers, study from one of our more than 50 majors, or are involved in one of our graduate programs. Walsh's female graduates have gone on to distinguish themselves as school superintendents, doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers, and so much more.
June 23rd, 1982. President Francis Bluen awaits at the gate in the Akron Canton Airport to greet and bring to Walsh College one of the most famous servant leaders the world has ever known, Mother Teresa. When she arrives on campus, she faces a large press audience and is then escorted to the Physical Education Center, where she is greeted by 2,000 anxious guests. Every one of them was spellbound. Her words both challenged and inspired her listeners. Let no one come to you without leaving you better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, and kindness in your smile. Although her time at Walsh was short, the memory of that visit lives on at Walsh today. She is in fact memorialized in the Peace Park in the heart of our campus and in the prayer garden. Mother Teresa, we pray that your thoughtful words and life of servant leadership continue to impact the world for generations to come.
January 1st, 1993, Walsh College becomes Walsh University. So what's in a name? Although the words college and university both refer to an institution of post-secondary education, there are distinct differences between the two words. A university is generally larger and more well-known than a college and offers graduate degrees and research programs, while a college may only offer undergraduate 2-year and 4-year programs. In our case, the name change was largely made to open the door to adding doctoral programs. President Richard Mikowski placed the move in context when he said, "This change will make Walsh more responsive to our changing constituencies, but it should be clear that our solid core and the humanities will remain in place."
September 2nd, 1995. The official tosses the game coin high into the air at North Canton Memorial Stadium on a beautiful fall day. A skydiver presents the game ball to University President Mikowski, and so began the intercollegiate football program at Walsh University. It was the culmination of 1.5 years of hard work and preparation. In this first game, the Cavaliers played Geneva College. Winning or losing took a back seat that day to the pride everyone took in the team. Coach Jim Dennison noted a current that ran through the stands and the team. There's electricity in the air, there's a college football atmosphere, and you could just feel the excitement about the game. I was looking for the effort, enthusiasm, and a never-quit spirit among the players, and I saw that. Since 1995, the Walsh football program has enjoyed 15 glorious seasons.
May 1998. Many say it's Walsh's Cinderella story. For the first time in the history of the NAIA Vegas basketball tournament, an unseeded team won it all after barely having made it to the playoffs. Many team members had actually already started heading off for spring break when they got the last-minute call to return to Walsh and prepare for the national tournament. Walsh's Lady Cavaliers rose to the occasion, to the amazement and delight of fans, and took the NAIA Division II Women's Championship after a 73-66 victory over the University of Mary Hardin Baylor in Sioux City, Iowa. Their stories about stamina, skill, perseverance, and tenacity. When no one thought they could do it, they proved them wrong. It is a legendary moment in Walsh's history. In the spring of 2005, the men's basketball team took the same honor, winning the NAIA Division II National Championship under the direction of a young and upcoming coach, Jeff Young. Both teams returned to Walsh's campus after their victories to be greeted by hundreds of cheering and very proud fans.
September 8, 2006. A mere 46 years after the decision was made that the campus had a need for a freestanding chapel, Our Lady of Perpetual Help opened its doors to the Walsh community. Plans for the chapel at Walsh were discussed in 1964, but the structure was never built due to financial constraints. Daily Mass was instead held in a modest chapel within the former Renew Campus Center. When the university launched the largest fundraising effort in its history under the leadership of President Ken Hamilton, that dream became a reality. Our Lady of Perpetual Help Chapel is named in honor of the patroness of the Brothers of Christian Instruction and offers daily and Sunday Mass throughout the year while classes are in session. This centerpiece of the campus serves as a visible commitment to the mission and Catholic heritage of Walsh, said President Jusome on this day. Our Lady of Perpetual Help Chapel is vital to ensuring the spirit of our founders continues to resonate within our community. The chapel's physical presence completes our campus like no building can, and its spiritual power as a place of peace, belief, and honor is undeniable.
May 3rd, 2007. A group of very excited Walsh students boarded a plane, eagerly anticipating arrival in Rome, Italy. Little did they know they would soon enjoy a visual feast of Walsh's 22-acre campus set on an Italian mountainside overlooking one of the most beautiful and historic cities in the world. How could they know they would return to Walsh completely and utterly transformed? I should know. I was one of those students. The Rome Experience Global Learning Program was established as another way to build on the mission of providing our students with an international perspective in today's globally competitive marketplace. Today, a little over 2 years later, more than 130 students have participated in the Rome Experience, with majors ranging from history to accounting. There are not many institutions of higher education in this country that are fortunate enough to have a campus like the one we have in beautiful Castel Gandolfo, Italy. The Rome Experience is another testament to the legacy of our founders and how their vision will carry us into the future.
Well, a round of applause for our choir.
Beautiful. In 1970, the Brothers of Christian Instruction, with really tremendous foresight, decided to turn over the ownership of then Walsh College to a board of directors made up of brothers and laypersons. In our audience this evening are many persons who have served on that board, continue to serve on that board, or have emeritus status on the board. Will all of you please stand and be welcoming of our thanks for all the wonderful work you do building this institution. A special person who helped to build Walsh in the not too distant past is here with us this evening also. She and her husband Ken spent some very important years on our campus and helped to turn it in the right direction. Please welcome and acknowledge Mrs. Peggy Hamilton. But today is October 7th. It's 2009. We've celebrated the first 50, and it's more than time to begin the second 50. What are we going to do in the next 5 and 10 and 20 and 40 and 50 years ahead? Well, some things are simple. We're going to continue to be in pursuit of the founding mission of Walsh, educating working class people in a faith-based environment and helping them to prepare to be of service to others and to make Jesus Christ known throughout the world. We don't have to change that. The founding charism, acceptance, hospitality, a teaching institution that welcomes all and challenges with support. We need not change that. But that doesn't mean that while all that stays in place as our foundation, that we not recognize the need to constantly
adjust, adapt the vision for Walsh University. And even as the environment changes around us, a dynamic, organic vision will make it possible for us to be able to sustain that mission and the legacy of the brothers to the next 50th anniversary. Are we going to build more buildings? Of course. We're just catching our breath. Are we going to add more degrees? Dr. Wu was all about that, graduate and undergraduate. Next time, along with the choir, we'll have the marching band playing for you. We're going to revitalize all our disciplines. We're going to reduce, Gene, the long-term debt to zero. Where are those baskets that we were going to have? We're going to grow the endowment. We're going to increase global learning for our students. We're going to hire a new president one of these days. We're going to continue to develop vocations to the priesthood and the religious life from among our membership. And our 10,000 alumni are going to become 15,000 alumni and 20,000 alumni of wonderful people throughout all 50 states and throughout the world, taking the message, the lessons, the values, and the principles they acquired at Walsh University and truly making a difference in all of our lives, truly out there planting seeds, and along with the rest of us, praying that truly God will grant the increase. We thank all of you for being here this evening. There are so many of you in this room that have been instrumental in the development of this wonderful university. We hope we truly have become a resource in this community, because after all, it's the community surrounding the brothers that really helped to build, to create it, to support it, to challenge it, so that it becomes today something of which we are all proud, but also something that launches its next 50 and hopes, with the grace of God and the blessings from above, to become truly all that we are called to be. I thank you for being here. Your pleasure. On that side, the bars. On that side, dessert and coffee. In the middle, music and dancing. Enjoy the party. And thank you for being part of it.